Alright, so the first thing we really need to do is prepare the printer for the cleaning that we're going to do. Now to do this cleaning, we need the print head to be centered. But right now it's in a locked position to the right. You can see it there on screen. And so to move it out of that locked position, there's a process we need to go through. But just so you understand, you cannot do this cleaning if your print head looks like this, where it's off to the right and it's locked in place. What you're going to need to do is go to your settings. Within the settings, you're actually going to select maintenance. And when you select maintenance, you're actually going to have the option to do a print head nozzle check. You're going to select print on this. And when you select print, the print head is automatically going to start moving back and forth once it's ready to print. And once you hear the print head going back and forth, that is when you're going to need to unplug the printer. Now, this seems kind of out of the ordinary. Why should you have to do this? This is the easiest way to do it so far that I have discovered on this specific model. So now you see that the print head is actually unlocked and in a position where you can adjust wherever you need it to be. Of course, now you want to remove that piece of paper that was going to be printed. So this is everything you're going to use for the cleaning, except for there's one thing missing. It's a small screwdriver. I'm going to be linking that in the description below. You're going to need that to actually remove the print head cover. But aside from that, this is everything you're going to be using primarily to clean the print heads. All of these items are very important, from the paper towel to the cleaning kit. Now, luckily with this printer, we're not going to be tinkering too much with the different pieces in this kit. You're really just going to be using the tubing that's already on the syringe. So that makes it really easy. So the purpose of using this paper towel is this paper towel is actually going to absorb a lot, and usually in some cases 100% of the fluid that's being pushed through the print head. And so you don't want a big mess pulling at the bottom of your printer, so you're going to use a paper towel. Now you can switch out this paper towel at any point that you would like to. Just make sure that you're replacing it with a new one so that there's always paper towel under the print head. So this is the small Phillips head screwdriver. It's a Husky that I'm going to be using. I'll link this in the description below. There's just one little screw on the right corner of this print head cover that you need to remove, and once that screw is removed, you can remove the cover, and that pretty much gets us access to the cartridges, which those cartridges that have the tubes connected to them, those can be removed. You actually do want to remove those, set them off to the side, and you'll see how I do that in a second. You're not disconnecting anything, you're just moving them to the side, and then you're going to have access to the actual print head nozzles. That is what we want to clean today. That's what we want to focus on today. So right now we are working on removing those cartridges. What I call these are makeshift cartridges because they're simply a conduit for ink to pass through. And in some rare cases, you may have to do a cleaning on these cartridges. You can really just tell though if you look at them from the side. If you can see ink flowing from the top to the bottom and you move it around and the ink kind of splashes around, then you're good. You don't have to do any cleaning to the ink cartridges. But what you really need to clean right now is, of course, the print head nozzle. The first nozzle I'm going to be cleaning is the black ink nozzle. Now you really want to make sure of what colors are giving you the most issues. If you're not having an issue with a certain color, I really wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't clean it. But even if you're having a small issue with one color, you really want to make sure to clean it, because if you don't take this opportunity to clean it, you then have to go through this whole process over again when you notice that that color is not printing the way you need it to print. That is 100% at its capacity. So what we're doing is we're attaching this silicone tubing to the nozzle. It should fit all the way down to the bottom. It should be very tight. And then you're simply pushing the cleaning solution from the syringe down into the nozzle. So what this does is it breaks up any blockage and it pushes out the dried up ink. You're going to want to repeat this process with all of the colors again that are giving you issues. If a color is printing just fine, you can skip it. So what we're doing is we're actually doing a full print head cleaning. We're not doing a specific color. We're just coming at it from the perspective that all these colors need to be cleaned. And so the next color I'm moving over to is going to be cyan, and then next to cyan, moving to the right, is magenta, and then finally yellow. So that is going to be the pattern: black, cyan, magenta, yellow, when you're starting from the left going on to the right like I am. So that should give you a good idea. You can also take a look at the nozzles themselves. You're going to see the color of the nozzle. Now, if that's cleaned off for some reason or you don't see that, what you're going to want to do is before you uninstall the cartridges, you're going to want to take a picture so that you know what the color pattern is. If you're still having issues with figuring out what the color pattern is, I would just have that documented. So we've moved from cyan, now we're moving on to magenta. And really what I would do is I would push about 10 milliliters of cleaning solution through each one of these nozzles. Now, if you have a massive cleaning that you're needing to do and you're not printing anything, you're printing blank pages, push about 15 to 20 milliliters. You want to stay away from 20 because you want to have some left over just in case so that you can do some additional cleaning if you have to do this a second time. That is one thing about this cleaning. It's not just a one and done in all cases. Sometimes it is. But in other cases, what you will have to do is you'll have to put everything back together, run a print head nozzle report, and then if it's not up to par, you're just going to have to come back and do it again. I've seen this happen where you might have to do it about 3 times, and then along with the entire process, which is also doing a power cleaning, which you'll see later on in this video. Now, if you're not able to push cleaning solution through and you feel a lot of resistance to the point where you're really having to apply pressure, stop applying that much pressure, back away from what you're doing. What you will need to do is actually warm up the cleaning solution over, in hot boiling water in a pan. And so once you have that hot solution, you're going to come back and then apply that hot solution to the nozzle. So we're just putting everything back together. Make sure that all the tubing is connected. Make sure that all the cartridges, the correct color goes in the correct spot. And then you're going to replace this print head cover. You're going to replace that tiny Phillips head screw. And once you have all of this attached, then you want to make sure that everything is dry. I would wait 24 hours before you power anything on and go on into the next steps, just to make sure that all the cleaning fluid is totally dried up. To ensure that, you're going to wait 24 hours. Once that 24 hours has transpired, you can then go into the rest of the process that you need to do in order for this printer to get back up to printing normally again. Dry everything off with a towel during this 24-hour period. And so once everything is totally dried, everything is totally put back together, and you're 100% confident in what you were able to do, then you're going to power on the printer. Once the printer is powered on, what you're looking to do immediately is you're looking to do a power cleaning. A power cleaning, you're going to find that in the maintenance section. It's going to be the third option. You see it there, power cleaning. You're going to select that button. And essentially, why do you need to do a power cleaning if we just did a manual print head cleaning? The purpose of the power cleaning is to actually push ink back into the system. So if you did this power cleaning without the cleaning solution, all you're doing is pushing extra ink into the system, and sometimes that breaks up the blockage. But if that didn't work for you, you're now using the cleaning kit, and you used a more direct method, a stronger method. And so, but once that method is over and you've already pushed everything out, you need all that ink to be pushed back in. So once that ink is pushed back in, you should be able to be printing normally again. One last important thing I will say is you need to make sure that your ink tanks are totally full before doing a power cleaning. So if you need to fill them up beforehand, go ahead and do that. So here we see 100% of our color is back on our nozzle report. This is what your nozzle report should look like. If it had lines or streaks or color missing, then you really want to pay attention to that, and that'll help you going forward with additional cleanings or maybe just an additional power cleaning. So I really hope that this video was helpful. If it was, please make sure to like. Any questions at all, comment below. And if you want more content like this, please make sure to subscribe, and remember all of the product links down in the description below. I'll also be leaving a link to some remanufactured ink so you can top off your ink tanks. But that's really all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time. Thank you so much for watching until the end of this video. I handpicked 2 videos that are here on the screen for you to watch next. Also consider subscribing to this channel. There's so much helpful content for you if you're a printer owner, and it's just good to have a resource like this for you in the future, whether you're dealing with a printer that's not printing well or you need more printer recommendations. So I look forward to seeing you again in another video.